Heartland Waterfowl presents Behind the Blind Podcast.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Behind the Blind, brought to you by British Double TT Kennels, Outlaw Beer, the Mile High Beer, and Dirty Duck Coffee. If your coffee sucks, it ain't the duck. Alex Diecidue, Justin Michaels, Hunter Easley, Dakota Thurn, same crew, Q, Jam Master, Mixologist, the man, the myth, the legend. And speaking of Dirty Duck Coffee, I feel like I could use some right now because I am dragging. If we all look a little tired, it's because it's like 9:30 at night right now. It's these days can get kind of long on really any of the trips because we have to do so much extra stuff, right, for the show and making sure that we're filming some B-roll and doing this and doing that and getting the podcast ready and stuff. So there can definitely be some 4 a.m. wake-ups and 11 p.m. or later bedtimes, and it can really start to kind of
all day sits
drag on you. Well, yesterday was for sure. And
welding trailers.
Yeah, well, we can get to those stories. But today, much better than yesterday, right?
Very good, very nice.
With 27 birds, which is a far cry from what we had yesterday. The birds, however, still are those finicky late season birds that I think have been here for a while now and have kind of seen it, done it, right? It's January. They've been beat on all year long. And we had birds this morning, got to hunt with Zach and Josh this morning. Real fun group we had. And, man, when those birds would come off and start flying towards us, they just looked perfect. You're like looking down the pit line. You're like, man, they're crawling. Here they come. And they'd get to like 150 or so, and they literally made a circle around us and then would join back up. A lot of the birds around here have seen it, done it. They knew the game. But we were able to trick a few of the ones that didn't quite have it figured out yet. We went into it this morning with really, really high hopes because that wind was insane today. We're probably all red faced. We're all chapped lips and freaking.
My lips ain't chapped, bro.
What? It's because you got them cocoa butter kisses.
Because I got them cocoa butter kisses.
Yeah, the wind ripped all day and it was just blowing all that. It snowed last night. I don't know. It seemed like it snowed actually. I don't know, maybe half inch or so. Driving this morning, it was pretty coated on the road, but
it snowed. What? I don't know if it snowed today.
It was just
but it was like blowing all the snow around.
Yes. If you were 8 feet off the ground, no snow. But where we were, especially because you're eye level with the ground in the pit,
I didn't think about that.
We were in a snow globe all day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in the pit, of course, it's blowing all that loose snow, and it was snowing in the pit for
It was a winter wonderland in the pit.
And the heaters were thawing snow. It was dripping on us, and
it was kind of a sloppy mess there after a while.
Yeah.
soupy.
But yeah, all in all, it was a good hunt. The birds are making us work for it, and we have had those trips here before. We talked about it at dinner where you could do no wrong. You could do no wrong. It felt like sometimes when you get the right conditions with the right birds and everything, it's like you feel like you could just stand outside of the pit and wave your arms and they would come decoy. This is not one of those times. They're definitely making us earn it this week, which we don't mind, right? We like the challenge, and we did a lot of things today as far as like moving decoys. I bet we changed it 4 times.
Yeah.
Because we had it set the way we wanted to originally, and they seemed like they were hanging way too far out. So then we took our little tail off for a while and brought it in. Well, then we shot a couple at like 30, right? Not terribly far away, but we like to shoot them obviously at like 10 feet. So then we pulled a few of those there and put some more behind us. And we just tried a few different things. And like I said, 27 of them liked it.
Yeah.
The other 2,700 did not.
Well, and the odd thing is too, is like we even talked about, yesterday going in today that, that the wind was going to help us with being able to shoot them closer and it would be an easier shot as much as they're going to get out. But that first shot, a lot of times they're hovering and it's kind of like they're pausing because they're trying to fight the wind. but it was weird today in the fact that like, we still were shooting them a little bit far out, just like to parlay on the fact of like their late season bird. Like I never felt like today, like we fully tricked them, you know, like
groups.
there was a couple, but there was still like a touch of a hang up, you know, like you just couldn't get it right.
Right.
But I mean, still you got to go with what you can go with, and we're still able to make it. But it just seemed like that. They were a little hesitant.
They still
hesitant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that didn't help us too was the birds that did check us out, fly on by, started a feed in a different field. So obviously it was kind of crazy to me with how much the wind was blowing. We thought, they're going to come scraping in. They're not going to be flying very high. And some of these birds were sky high flying around in that wind. So I'm sure that they, once a decent amount of birds got over there, well, now you're competing with live birds.
Right.
You're not going to, especially with these birds here. But it sounds like I talked to Aaron on the phone, and it sounds like their other groups today did really well too. So there's kind of that shift, right? Because it's been cold every day this week. We're supposed to have very, very strong winds, which is only going to push more birds down from Montana. Those birds that did get here the other day probably were a little more comfortable with flying out and wanting to feed this morning. So, they had some guys do really, really well today. So that's obviously a positive note. Like things are on the upswing. And it looks like tomorrow it's, mid 30s or so, partly sunny, 15-mile-an-hour wind, kind of everything that you would want. Saturday it looks like it's like another 40-mile-an-hour wind day, which is our last day of hunting, and then we're going to drive home. So that might be real fun to hopefully it's straight west.
I'll tell you what did happen well today. That decoy spread was put out very quickly and very efficiently this morning.
It really was.
I turned around. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah. I think it literally took 20 minutes. To put 15 dozen full bodies. We put 5 dozen silhouettes out and probably 3 or 4 dozen shells. And it was like, well, guess we'll just kind of hang out here and not be in any rush, which is kind of a nice
feels
feeling.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to hunt with Zach again tomorrow. Like I said, it sounds like there are good numbers of birds around, and it seems like it's just going to increase. We just want we need those fresh ones that are vulnerable.
Yeah. We like the vulnerable ones, man.
Hungry and vulnerable is what we really want. So hopefully that is, like I said, everything's on the uptrend now, which is good. So
we were kind of due for a little struggle because the last couple times that we've been here, it's been wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
See ya, Sam.
Yeah. We, honestly, we had the one hunt last year where it was pretty tough, but we were dealing with negative 40-degree temperatures and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And it was only the one where it was like, well, that's kind of weird they didn't fly today.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that,
we smashed
all the time here. And that's, it's one of the reasons we love this trip, right? We get to come here, come to Wyoming and shoot a bunch of geese, and it's awesome. And they decoy great and everything. So yeah, we're due for it, right?
Yeah.
I'm okay to work for them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow if they could, maybe throw us a bone.
Now we've worked for them. Now we're back due for wham bam.
Good one.
Yeah.
Please. There actually were some really funny and really cool moments in the blind today, so we might as well hop right into the outlaw moment of the day. So, do you want to go first?
Sure.
I know you have one.
I have one, and I'll let you guys eat the one that I said that I was going to use earlier because I'm sure someone will use it. My other one was somebody in the blind today had that mustard gas, that freaking that blind clearer gas.
Quick.
Yeah. And if you look around,
we'll all look at them at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, honestly, like back home, I eat pretty clean. We ate Domino's pizza
2 days in a row.
Yeah, and then it's gas
It's not a
station
mystery.
food, and then Arby's.
Yeah.
Pizza. So yeah, my stomach was not happy today.
No, well, no one else's noses were either.
Yeah.
You're trapped
We got
in
some
an
good laughs out of it, though.
pit.
It was funny. We were having a good time about it.
No matter how old you get, farts are always funny.
Farts will always
They're
be
always
funny. Yeah. So
Well,
that's my outlaw moment. Because
Okay.
Chaz having that blind clearer gas.
Well, my favorite moment was when you two were shooting, and I was behind the camera, And the single was crawling in. Like it was like 10 yards off the ground. It's
one of the ones that did do it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching the camera like, oh yeah, this is going to be good. And honestly, in my mind, I just figured you were going to shoot because he was a little bit further down. It was an 8-man pit today. And so we kind of separated a little bit and how we were like, just one camera, one shooter next to him and that kind of stuff. And so Zach was on the end with Q. They were like, okay, I'm sure together they were like, we're going to get you this single and not say anything. And that single finished, and it was, no one even called it.
Mm-mm.
And it popped up to shoot. No, I said,
Zach?
take that back. Zach goes,
Yeah.
shoot him, Q.
Yeah, Zach said
And
shoot
you
him.
went, popped up, shot it right before Q could. So you stole Q's single.
I
Yeah.
think I was in Dakota's ear too, like, shoot him.
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh,
Singh,
yeah,
shoot
that's
him.
how that always goes, right?
Because
So-
we switched out, so
Yeah.
he was up. So I'm like, take him.
Well, and I was like, it was kind of a little bit farther on my side, so I don't know. I just got in the mix of it and was like, time to go.
I think it's hilarious.
I did apologize a handful of times to Q and said sorry.
Q would have missed anyways.
Q, what's your
It's-
response on
it's-
my disrespect?
It's still okay, dude. It's all right.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm
not
sorry
mad at you.
again.
I'm not mad at you, bro. It's
Birds
all
were
good.
shot, so it's okay.
He can take your single tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hunter?
Yeah, definitely, probably me shooting my first goose with a shotgun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was,
And
that was
so
awesome.
cool.
Not only shooting it, but you
Smashed.
Oh yeah,
puffed it.
Smashed
yeah.
it.
And it
smoked
was
it.
was a single. I mean, it was like a suicide single. That thing was carrying
Oh, it was
luggage. It
coming
came over and
in.
came straight down, like the best single bird of the day.
Yep.
And everybody's reaction was, dude,
Yeah,
it was
we
so
went nuts.
awesome.
We were
It was
so jacked.
awesome.
We were just dudes
We're
being
pumped for you,
dudes.
man.
Just
Yes,
The
it was
joy in your
awesome.
eyes too, man.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it was so cool. I mean, like, I can't remember if it was one of you two were like, you were like, oh no, you're never gonna go deer hunting again after
That's
this
right.
now.
Yeah.
He's hooked. He's
His-
hooked. Yeah.
His level was like, before this trip, he's like, deer hunting's here, waterfowl's here. And then he took that shot and it was like, we're getting closer.
Yeah.
We're getting
Yeah.
closer.
Yep.
We're on our way to converting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Chaz?
Yeah, it's got to be Hunter. I mean,
Yeah. That's too good of a moment. to-
on a single.
It was awesome.
You
And
smashed
singles are
them.
intimidating sometimes,
'Cause
especially
we
with
all
our
went
crew.
nuts.
you
Yeah.
know,
Were you
if
nervous?
miss,
Yeah.
you are never
Oh,
going to
yeah.
hear the
Oh,
end.
yeah.
Yeah. Our group will eat your lunch if you miss.
Yeah.
Some trash.
No matter
talk.
Out
what.
of fun. Out of fun.
I've missed a million singles over the years, and
Mhm.
I still
It
happens to
still,
everybody.
when it's
Every
my
time.
turn. I'm like, oh my god, don't whatever you do not miss.
Yeah.
Like, it's gotten so bad now that we'll rib people be like, oh well, you shot it, you didn't shoot it only in the head. It's like,
Yeah. You didn't shoot it good enough.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah. Well, and I think what helped too was I had 2 shots before, and they were nowhere near like how that bird came in. But
Right.
I of course didn't hit those 2, and so I think it was nice getting those first couple shots off and
yeah.
being able to really focus and dial in on that one coming straight in at us.
Well, you
Mhm.
did a damn good job.
Thank you.
Well
thank
done.
you.
Q.
Alrighty, folks, you ready? Probably outlaw moment of the day since Chaz says I can't shoot. I
I'm
went-
kidding.
I went from 2-tap Q to one tap Q at the end of the hunt today, and it felt pretty dang good.
There you go.
Yep.
Can you explain the two-tap Q
All right,
thing?
so
Logan would be proud.
he would be very proud. I did put my head down on the gun, Logan, just letting you know. Anyways, so I got the name 2-tap Q from this trip about 5 years ago. I like to really whiff that first shot, and I always get it on the second. So that's where I got 2-tap from. And
It's
time-
consistent too.
Yeah,
it's been pretty consistent.
It's more consistent here because, I mean, especially for like this year, like, I mean, you can agree, Dakota, we've been able to shoot earlier this year more on the first part of the season.
No doubt.
And then, you know, we go down to Texas and sometimes we get to shoot in Texas, but get back on the gun and in Wyoming where we get to shoot a lot more, and I forget how to shoot a gun sometimes. So that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what, no matter how good you are,
You totally redeemed yourself.
you can be just Dead Eye, but you're still gonna always be 2-tap from now on. I mean, it's just there. It's a good nickname.
It's
Yeah.
just stuck. It's just stuck.
Yeah.
The other, this is gonna lead into this story because it's just like the typical waterfowl hunter story, right? Because something always goes wrong. But my second outlaw moment of the day, because this deserves recognition,
No doubt.
is shout out to Zach for his welding skills, because you guys have a trailer that has seen some miles, some use,
Been around,
some
boy.
abuse. It is well weathered. And
Oh, yeah.
you had opened the door for us to load decoys in the back of it, and like the back side of the wall was like came off the trailer almost,
Broke the weld.
and it popped a couple welds, and it was not safe to drive in that manner by any means, because
No.
it was just going to keep working its way. And where we were hunting was not very far from was that Zach's uncle?
Yes.
Was it
Yeah, I
his
believe
uncle?
so.
Okay.
I believe so.
From one of his uncle's places who does a lot of farming. So thankfully, it's like the best place that something like that could have happened. But we were able just to drive it over there, back it right into the barn, and Zach put some, what he says were fairly ugly welds. I think they look great.
Every weld's a good weld after a little grinding.
Yeah. Hey, it holds up. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Yeah, as long as it holds.
What was his quote?
What did he say? He said,
I guarantee you it'll hold up until it breaks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's perfect. So it was just one of those where, like, usually things will go wrong in a really bad situation, or where you're miles and miles away from something and you're trying to rig something up in the field to hold things together. And this one was just very lucky with,
Yeah.
like, Zach's like, oh, we need to weld it. Yeah, we only have to drive right down here and we can go to my uncle's shop and then
Yeah.
pull it right in there, and didn't have to do it like in the dirt. And
Yep. Had all the tools that we needed.
Mhm.
Like, it was clutch. It was super clutch.
Yeah.
That was pretty outlaw
yeah, it really
for that
was.
to happen.
And the thing too is we were like, oh, okay, we got enough time. We're going to load our stuff up. We'll go out and film a scout, go find some birds, and
Didn't happen.
did not happen. So luckily, obviously Aaron and Jen and the whole crew made their rounds and got it all lined up for us. So shout out to you guys as well, because people got to pick up the slack where we're not able to
Yep.
make it happen. But did you already think of a ducked up question of the day? Have you pondered this yet?
Yep.
You got one?
Yep.
Is it that one that I sent you?
Let me read.
I think I sent it on Facebook Messenger.
Drum roll.
Let me take a gander real quick.
In the meantime.
In the meantime.
Oh, also what was a non-outlaw moment too is, which it was pretty outlaw because helping hand, but when Josh was doing everything he could to like prep the part that we needed to like patch weld, and he was like grinding it and making it look all pretty, and then as he's cutting it, I went to go film it, and like no sparks were coming off of it when he cut it. We were like, oh, that's weird, but. And then once we got it over there, he had polished up and worked really hard on a piece of copper.
It was copper. Yeah. Like, which is kind of funny because he was like really into making it perfect.
Yeah.
Right? He was just
Yeah.
he was
He went and
grinding.
showed it to
Yeah.
everybody. It was
Yeah,
like,
he was like,
grinding
look
his
at it,
heart
look
out and
at
everything.
it.
And he comes over. I'm like, that's very orange looking. And then Zach's uncle was like, what are you doing? That's copper.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's
that
a
was good.
non-outlaw moment.
Yeah, that was good though.
It was pretty funny.
I appreciate him, you know.
He was
trying
so
to
proud of his
he was
piece
trying
of
to
work.
help.
He
Yeah.
was so proud of his
Yeah.
piece of work.
Josh is a pretty good character too. On top
Yeah.
of
Oh
it
yeah,
all.
it's fun. It was a really fun day in the blind. Fun day shooting birds. Fun day in the blind. Unless you had to sit next to Chaz.
Yeah.
it was bad.
It still is.
Yeah, it's still awful. It was lingering through the house earlier. Sorry, guys. But would you rather be given 1 mil or have 10 carries in an NFL game to gain 5 yards for 10 mil?
Put me in the game, bro.
Put me in the game.
Okay, I think there's a caveat to this question because like
Who's playing defense?
yeah, do I have like the
Like Ray
do I have like
Lewis?
the Bengals O line or something here? Like, am I going to
Hey,
be able to? Get
let me tell you
protected?
something. Ain't gonna matter.
Yeah. I'm taking my $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking my $1 million.
There's a big difference between 1 mil and 10 mil. In today's day and age, 1 mil can go.
I don't think you can get how many yards?
5 yards. How many downs do you get?
10?
10 carries.
10 carries.
10 carries in an NFL game.
I can get a yard.
No.
Really?
Bro, that's
Every
6
carry.
inches a carry.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Push
saying.
it all the way through.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do
QB
it.
sneak.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you got it.
I think if anybody, Chaz probably could. He could
Yeah.
take a little.
He's kind of mongoloid.
Yeah,
size.
he's a bigger guy.
I would be willing to risk it.
I
Just
think
for,
I would be
I'd probably
willing to
break a
risk
couple
it.
Bones.
10 mil
Why
is like
not?
drastically changes lifestyle.
Yeah.
1 mil is just like,
I got some money.
I have money, but you're pretty much living the same lifestyle. It's just because you got to think about it this way. If you have 1 mil, you basically are extending your life. Like you probably have better cars, a better house, have a hunting property or whatever, but those bills are going to be just as big and whatever. So like the actual like living state of 1 mil would probably be the same, but it's just a little bit bigger than what you're actually doing. You wouldn't think?
1
mil?
The way all I say is with 1 mil is I would not change anything I'm doing now, but it would be a paid off house, paid off vehicles, and probably a small piece of property. But like now I'm all the money I make at work is just invested. Like I don't have any. You don't have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage payment, that's life changing.
Yeah.
It is life changing.
Yeah. You got to think about it too. A hunting property could eat 1 mil like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
10 mil's rich, man.
10 mil is...
That's a lot.
10 mil makes that amount of money makes you enough money to where you don't have to do anything.
What would you do, Q?
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
I think I got it. I mean, 10 carries for 5 yards.
I know it seems easy. It does not easy. It seems very doable. But I'm gonna stick with my decision of $1 million. Thank you.
All right.
I'll
So
take
you
it.
get
I wanna
destroyed
also-
by Roquan Smith or something,
Yeah.
I'd take that concussion for 10 mil.
I just hope that Ray Lewis is not playing.
Yeah. I'm dead.
That would suck.
I'm dead 100%.
Well, if you're doing it today, dude's retired.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that would be the scariest. Remember that face mask that he had that was all...
oh, my goodness.
Could you
He was a
imagine?
killer.
Could you imagine
bad
looking
ring.
across...
Legitimately though, he was a
He
killer.
was a
Oh,
killer.
yeah.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
kill somebody.
Yeah.
Him and his boys,
Yeah.
allegedly.
But no, put me in, coach. I think I could get it.
All right. Well,
100%.
Let us know in
what
the
do you got?
comments
What
what
do
you
you
think
think?
that you could do. Are you taking the 1 mil or the 10? Trying for the 10.
everyone's gonna say.
I
they
think
do
I'm
it, but
big
we'll do
enough.
it.
All you little guys, man, I don't know.
Dude, I might be short, but I'm stocky.
Watch your language, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, this is a kid show.
Yeah.
We have families watching.
Shame,
this.
shame, shame,
that's a
shame,
good
shame,
question.
shame.
That's a good question.
I saw that on Facebook and was like, all right, I'm going to send that to Q so we can
That's a
prime
good
one.
one. That's
Yeah, that was a good
I'll
one.
try and find
Yeah.
one. for
Little
him tomorrow.
thought provoking.
The other one would probably have to be, would you rather smell a dead animal or Chad's farts?
Chad, corporate Chad.
Corporate Chad's farts.
Are we getting into the ducked up?
Yeah.
I already know
Hold on, what was the question again?
The other one I would have had if we didn't do that one would have been the, would you rather smell a dead animal or Chaz's farts today?
Midway
not the
through his
same.
midway through his farts, I got a little bit immune to it, and I think I was not liking it, but
That's what you said. You go, I kind of like it now.
but it was just like
They were
okay.
goosey.
They literally that's the thing. They smelt like a dead goose.
Yeah.
All right. That's a real thing.
That is a real thing. Can we
Yes,
touch on
Let's
that?
talk about it.
Can we touch on that?
Sure.
How does that work?
Frame that up.
I don't.
Someone make sense of that.
I don't know, but especially like after you've cleaned Canadas or snows, it just
Absorbs
happens.
into your
I don't
skin.
know. Like I don't.
I know, but how does it
everybody-
get to the farts?
I
That's
don't
what I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. I'm sure it's probably because you're waterfowl hunting and we're drinking beer and whiskey and eating gas station foods and things.
Eating
and that's-
Domino's pizza 2 nights in a
Yeah.
row.
And that's
and
actually
Runza.
and that's what's
not a good
creating that
combo
horrible smell. But
at
why is it
all.
always very goosey?
Yeah, it just seems very
I want to hear
goosey.
I want the people to comment below.
Have you had
what-
goose farts? We want to know.
and what's your theory on it?
Yeah. And do you like it?
Everybody has. I've heard it from many
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
The
That's a
goose farts
waterfowl
are a real
thing,
thing.
yeah.
It really is a thing. Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully after tomorrow, all of us will have more goose farts.
Yeah.
Because
Hey, that's the price of doing business.
it really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It really is. So excited about
Pit
tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Again, we're just having a blast up here with all these guys at High Plains Wing Shooters. So we're gonna get everything wrapped up here, and I am hitting the sack because I'm tired.
Yeah.
We're gonna have another fairly early wake up in the morning and hit the gas station, get some more burritos to add to the
Chorizo.
everything that's going on right there, and
That should
hopefully
help.
beat up some geese tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Sitting by you tomorrow, Hunter.
Oh no, you're not. I'm going to be outside of the pit.
on behalf of all of us here at Heartland Waterfowl, thank you for watching. Tune in tomorrow. We'll let you know how it goes, and we will see you then. I'm going to bed.
Calls me up, I'll just find